Kimberly, we're back. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I want to talk about your book. It's divided into 3 different sections. The first one is kind of the self section about your personal goals. The second is about home and family. And the third is about community in the world. Why did you choose to divide it into 3 sections like that?
Well, I really found that people have these different concerns. Even though we're young, we still care about giving back. So I wanted to make sure to dedicate a section to how we can give back even when we don't have a ton of money. And then as we get older, our focus shifts from being all about us, our investing, our saving, to more about our families. And as we become more responsible to other people, a lot of us get married or at least date in our 20s. So we want to know how to manage money combined with love. So that's why I decided to divide it up like that.
And it's a perfect resource because money is not something you really think about when you're first getting into a relationship or you're first starting out in your life, but outside of your down payment for your new apartment. So it's definitely a great resource. I want to go to the next student question. It comes from Noah.
Hi, I'm Noah Wasserman. I'm a sophomore at George Washington University, and I was just wondering what I should know before I start working for nonprofits.
So this definitely relates to the world and community. And you talked about starting a nonprofit in your book. So what should someone know before they start working for a nonprofit?
Well, one big thing with nonprofits is that people are afraid to get paid what they're worth. And this is true in all fields, but I think especially when we're working in a field where giving back is such a big part of it, we're afraid to negotiate salary, to make sure we have benefits that we really deserve. And so no matter where you work, even if it's a nonprofit, you want to make sure you're getting paid what you're worth. Don't hesitate to negotiate your salary, to make sure you check up on any retirement benefits, healthcare benefits. You still deserve these things. So that would be my number one advice to people who are going to work in the nonprofit sector.
And what advice do you have for for doing that in the current economy? You know, some people might be afraid to do that because they think they might be out of a job or lose a job offer because of that, and also maybe feel bad about asking for more money because of the economy.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked that because I've been hearing that from so many people that they say, I have a job offer. I should just be grateful that I have a job offer and not counter with an offer and to ask for more money. But really, that's actually a mistake because no matter what, if you ask politely, employers expect you to negotiate. It's actually a sign of professionalism that you're comfortable negotiating, that you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be confrontational. You just have to say something like, is it possible to get a higher salary, or is there any wiggle room with that? It can be a casual conversation, and it's really expected in today's working world, even if you're just coming out of college, even in the current environment. So definitely don't hesitate.
Now, if you're not offered the higher salary, then what do you think the next steps are for that?
Yes, well, you really can decide how far you want to take it. So most of us will want to just ask once, maybe come back twice, especially if you have another offer from somewhere else so it's a little bit more competitive. But then you just politely accept if you want the job. You accept the offer and you're happy with it. So you know you did, at least you know you tried, you did what you could.
I want to move on to our next question. It comes about your career. It comes from Casey.
My name is Casey James, and I'm a freshman at GW. And my question is, what are the steps you took to getting published?
Yes, because you've written for the Washington Post and the Washington Journal, so I want to talk about that.
Yeah, well, getting published is just basically lined with rejection. So it basically took me, this was actually my third book proposal that I actually tried to turn into a book. And after, I think it took a year total to find an agent, to shop it around to publishers, and then finally sell it. So definitely, I mean, it's not easy, just like filmmaking, but it's something you just have to keep on trying, and then hopefully eventually you succeed.
So what sort of networking did you have to do when you were starting to get your book out there?
The biggest thing I did, maybe the biggest thing I had going for me, was that I have a full-time job. I'm a personal finance columnist for U.S. News and World Report. So this is a topic I'm writing about money all the time. I write a blog about it, Alpha Consumer. So I definitely am making those connections and sort of plugged into that world of personal finance writing. And from there, I just tried to pitch myself by writing to agents. It's the first step to writing a book, is to find an agent. So I just pitched myself to a dozen agents and then finally found my current agent who I really like.
And for entry-level writers, what do you think that they should be doing?
I think the most important thing you can do is practice. There's so many writing courses and workshops out there. Those are great, but I think the most important thing is really finding your own voice, and that just comes from practicing. So whether you're writing in your journal at night, or you're writing on a blog, or even Twitter, there's so many ways to practice finding your voice, and it just takes a while to find it. I mean, even now I feel like it's something I'm still working on. So I really think just practicing writing and reading your favorite writers is the best thing you can do.
And what should a young writer expect when they begin working with an agent? What are the sort of expectations that an agent sets for you?
I think the biggest thing to expect is rejection. I mean, once you get to the next step, whether it's finding an agent, finding a publisher, the rejection, or maybe a softer way of saying that would be just the hard work, doesn't end. So it's a constant process of expanding your own skills, expanding your outreach, your brand, as a lot of writers like to say. So it's just a constant process of hard work, and that's why you have to enjoy it. I mean, if you don't enjoy being a writer 100%, then you might as well do something else, because you can make a lot more money doing something else.
Well, we can definitely tell that you enjoy it. The book is called Generation Earn, The Young Professional's Guide to Spending, Investing, and Giving Back. Kimberly Palmer, thank you so much for being here today.